Hello, family. How are we doing today? It is Wednesday. It's episode 3 of Two Wavy Girls on the Internet. Welcome to our podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Alyson Lupo.
And I'm Wavy Curly Courtney. We celebrate all things wavy, curly, and wonderfully real.
And we play around with all the products and read the back of the bottle so you do not have to. Welcome, friends. How are you on this fine day? I hope you guys are so excited. We are so excited to talk about this particular episode. And I see a number of you have already gathered in the comments. We film this live every Wednesday. We distribute it out to our podcast platforms. It goes out on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio. Does anybody use iHeartRadio? I don't know, but if you do, you can listen to our podcast there. So far, Courtney, I don't know if I've shared this with you yet. We are not a big podcast, as we know. We are a small, niche, family-oriented podcast, and if you will, wavy-oriented podcast. We have so far just over 3,000 cumulative downloads of our podcast over the last season and a half. And I'm super excited about that. And so I wanted to share that with everybody because your downloads help us tremendously. Your reviews, comments, likes help us tremendously. So I wanted to start the podcast today with that little bit of advice, because if you do listen to us on a podcast platform, please leave a comment, please leave a review. It really helps us so much, and it helps us find other wavies and helps us grow.
And thank you all so much for being patient with us today. We did have some technical issues. Don't we all just love technology? It's amazing until it doesn't work. But it's okay. We are here now, and we are very excited to talk about our Wavy Hair Confessions, what we've been too scared to actually say.
Right now, I'm too scared to say that we might have more technical difficulties as this goes on. I hope not. Just so everybody knows, there is sort of like an electrical aura around me that makes electrical things, technology things stop working. I don't know what that is. So if there is a delay, if you're watching this and there's a delay on me, I'm so sorry. If it's driving you nuts, look away. Or listen to the podcast later. I apologize profusely. I'm doing my best and recording this in my studio, so the internet may be a little bit something because I wasn't able to plug in. So it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. And moving right along to the Wavy Confessions. Should I go first, or would you like to go first, Courtney? Like, what's the first thing that we should talk about?
I would love for you to share your wavy hair confession.
You want me to go first? Okay. I will go first with the first wavy hair confession. And this is something that I'm always afraid to say. I've probably said it before. If y'all have followed me, I've been around on the internet for about 10 years. I cut hair in Dallas, Texas, North Dallas, close to Plano, if you're in the area. And I share all of the things that I usually think. I'm not very good at filtering, but I try very hard. And one of the things that I always hesitate to say is a tough one for me, because I never want to feel like I'm telling somebody else how to do their job. That always feels really bad. But at the end of the day, from a perspective of someone with wavy hair and someone who cuts wavy hair day in and day out, you cannot treat wavy hair the same as you treat straight hair. You can't do it. Whether you're a stylist or whether you're a human, if you are trying to wear your hair wavy and you're combing it every morning, but you want it to then look wavy, it's not going to work. And if you're a stylist who dabbles in curls or waves, you can't dabble. You have to kind of be all the way in, or it's just, you're never going to get it. There you go. I said the hard thing out loud, Courtney. I feel very proud of myself today because it was a really hard Band-Aid to rip off. You got to be all in. I'm not even saying you have to have training, but you've got to be all in, and you've got to cut dry, and you've got to pay attention to where the calyx push the hair, and you've got to pay attention to the little curly cues next to the straight bits. And even though you can pull that curl really long and that little straight bit next to it's really short, you have to trust that that haircut's going to come out okay. You have to empathize with wavy hair, and you have to understand it, and you have to just treat it differently than straight hair. Okay, that was mine.
I love that you said that. I got to cut a gorgeous woman's hair this week who fit perfectly into that boat. She had straight pieces right next to 3A ringlets. And if I had cut her hair wet and then we'd styled it wavy curly, it would have looked ridiculous. But I cut her hair dry And when I went ahead and styled it, it was the most cute, round, layered, voluminous haircut ever. It gave me actual chills. If you follow me over on Instagram and saw my Instagram story where I said, this one gave me chills, it was that one. It was absolutely majestic and wonderful. I'll go ahead with my honest wavy hair confession. It's that I don't always love my hair. Yes, as much as I want you to embrace the hair that you are fearfully and wonderfully made with, I often get irritated that my hair isn't more straight, isn't more curly. Being in the in between as somebody with wavy hair and multiple different curl patterns all over my head, I get irritated often. Sometimes I just need a styling break. I have talked about those quite a few times. But when I'm feeling that way, when I am that frustrated with my hair, I will shampoo it, condition it, put it in a little bit of leave-in conditioner, brush it out straight, and let it air dry. And every time I do that, it's the lowest of low effort wash days for me. When I do that and I see that my hair is shiny, it is healthy, and it doesn't look that bad compared to what it used to look like when I would take styling breaks and just air dry my hair. Back before I started caring for my hair and I would air dry it, it looked like I had stuck my finger in a light socket when I would air dry. But now that my hair is much healthier because I've been trying so hard for so long to take such good care of it, I can get away with doing almost next to nothing with it. Styling breaks help me when I just like don't love my hair.
I've said this so many times, but I'll say it again. I tell my children sometimes when they're like, I don't want to do my hair. I don't want to wash my hair. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. I'm like, having hair is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Having hair is difficult unless you're going to have like a men's style cut or like a pixie cut without a lot of long pieces in the front. If you're basically going to buzz cut your hair, I'm sure your life becomes worlds and worlds easier, but that's not the look that a lot of people want. And if they do, that's fine too, but that's just not where we're at. So I feel you. I love that you shared that. And I do want to rewind. I want to go back to your haircut that you did because I saw that in your stories, just it gave you chills, but I didn't know the whole story. I try to not spend as much time on Instagram anymore. I get on there and I post and ghost, in keeping with our Halloween theme. I post and ghost a lot because I got a lot of kids. I have 2 and it feels like there's 17 of them, but there's only 2 and 5 animals right now. And it's a lot. And so they need a lot. And so I post and I go, so I saw your story that it gave you chills. I'm so glad to know what happened, but I do want to ask you a hard question. Did it give you a little bit of a heart attack to cut that short piece as short as you did and leave that long piece long? Did you, I mean, you've been doing this for a little while now. You're kind of getting close to being done with cosmetology school.
That's
but
true.
Like, when you rewind the tape and you've been online a long time, you've seen all the things, you're so good at researching, like you're always watching the videos, like you know how to do a lot of things because you are such a researcher. And I love that about you, but the doing it can be different. So like when you did the thing, did you have a little bit of a, what have I done moment? Honestly.
It was terrifying to take a good look at her hair and see that was the drastic difference that we had. And my cosmetology instructor was looking over my shoulder while I'm doing this haircut. And I'm like, she's not going to love what I'm doing right now.
Oh, no, they don't ever.
But bless them. They were very kind about it. And I know just enough to get myself in trouble, but not enough to like actually know things. So I just kind of jumped in and did it. And I went, I know this is how this is supposed to go. I'm just going to do it. Because it was honestly the first person that I had that big of a difference on.
Wow.
And I was like, I know the steps that I am supposed to do. My instructor's not going to love it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And
that's brave. That's a brave thing you did.
Innocence is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. Not innocence. Ignorance is bliss. I don't know what I don't know. So I was just like, cool, let's do it. And I did it. And it was really good.
That's so awesome. I mean, you do have to remind yourself that people that come to a cosmetology school to get their haircut are there for like, they know they're being experimented on, learned on by
Mhm.
the students who are there. So like, there's definitely a give and take. Like that's part of the process. But I'm so proud of
Absolutely.
you for doing that because it takes a lot of guts to do something that is so different, not taught. I know one of the topics we talked about discussing this year is the shortage of curly and wavy information in cosmetology school. And I would love to know from our audience if that is something that you guys would be interested in hearing more about. Again, it's one of those prickly conversations that like I never want to make somebody feel bad about. So like I tend to be Switzerland a lot. And so like I don't really want to ruffle feathers, but at the same time, I think it's a conversation that needs to be had at some point in time, but maybe on our podcast or maybe not. So if that would be interesting to you, please like reach out to me and Courtney on our socials, in our comments, and let us know if that would be a topic of interest to you, because it's certainly interesting to us.
So, Alyson, I think you and I had very different experiences through two separate cosmetology schools, and I'm currently in school. So perhaps it's updated because you went through cosmetology school a while ago, not eons ago, but 5 years ago, right?
7. I started in 2018.
Cosmetology school?
Yes.
Oh, dang. I didn't know that. Sorry.
Yeah. No, can you believe it? I started in
No.
I started in like, but barely in 2018. I started in like, I want to say October, November of 2018.
That's
And then I
right.
graduated in March 2020.
Okay. So, in my personal cosmetology school experience, there has been a lot of conversation around wavy hair and curly hair. A lot
Wow.
of the pictures in my textbook are of somebody with textured hair. The models are with curls. We're talking about curl patterns. We're talking about how to treat curls differently. However,
Whoa.
most of my coursework is online. My instructors don't mess with curls. They do the West Texas bleach blonde foil highlights, blow it out, and curl it with a curling iron. That's what they know and do day in and day out. But in the
They are
coursework,
good at it. I could
oh, they
never be
are
as good at it as they
amazing.
are. That is a whole different skill set, just to be clear, to not take anything away from anyone and to be a little bit Switzerland, but honestly, like that is a skill set. So yes.
Absolutely, it is. And there are people who want that and need that. And that is
Yes.
who they are showing up for and serving. I think I'm lucky because I'm getting to do this online. Part of my instruction is online and part of it is in person. So I'm finding that I was expecting to have nothing. And I am,
Oh, wow.
they're talking about co-wash. They're talking about leave-in conditioner. They're talking about how to scrunch in gel. And I'm like, hey, there is stuff in my cosmetology school about how to care for curls and how to diffuse.
Oh my goodness. I'm really bowled over, but so glad to hear that. Like I'm so glad to hear it because there was nothing like that. There were 3 pages in my textbook devoted to the fact that curls exist. But my instructors at that time were still very much like, you can just treat wavy hair the same as curly hair. But because of our huge
Wow.
difference in the number of curl patterns, because you can have that 3A, even a 3B next to a 2A, 2B, like you can't treat that the same. You can't cut that wet. So anyway, we've gone way deep into that and I love that we have. So for our audiences that are watching and our audiences that listen later, if you are listening to this on your podcast, I hope that you were given like an air, like, yes, right now, like on Napoleon Dynamite when he's like, doing the little dance. I hope you are celebrating the fact that more wavy and curly hair education is being taught at, standard cosmetology schools as smaller town as Abilene, Texas. Like that's amazing. Or maybe your cosmetology school is just way on top of it. But anyway, I give them all the credit in the world. So that's fantastic. And I had excellent teachers, by the way, that also were like, hey, you can actually treat a curl like this, or you can just use zero tension and do this, and would guide me a little bit, kind of like, this may not be in your book and this may not be our standard teaching, but let me walk you through it. So there was definitely that as well. But so that's my whole conversation about that. I do have one little confession that was submitted to me on Instagram. I just put something out this morning and asked, does anybody want to share a thing? And I did get one. Let me find it. And it's something that, I said, hey, this will be anonymous. You don't have to share these things. Oh, I've got a few more. Okay, we'll start with one. Number one, a little confession that someone was afraid to share. I wash my hair every day.
Yeah, I love that.
But why? Like, why should we even be afraid to say that?
Right.
Like, are you in the wash your hair every day or every other day crew? I know that you wash your hair more frequently than I do.
Currently, I am going through some scalp stuff and my hair is needing to be washed every single day. Like my scalp
Yes.
starts to do that burning, itching thing. And I'm like, cool, we're washing it.
Yes, you have to stay ahead of it. I was actually having this conversation with a client here in my studio this morning, and she was like, she has a ton of hair. She defies all the rules of all of my other clients who have a ton of hair. She was like, well, I've just been not loving my hair recently. So that goes maybe back to your styling break idea. And she's like, I put it up in a ponytail for about 5 days and then I wash it. And I was like, well, what's your wash day schedule if it's up in a ponytail for 5 days? She's like, oh, about 10 days, and does not have scalp issues. I mean, wow. I mean, number one, total unicorn. Number two, she is amazing. So there's that. But number three, like, to go for that long, y'all ladies, it is not a competition to see how long you can go to wash your hair. If 10 days is like what's getting you through life right now and your scalp is fine, by all means do it. But like we've said before, you wash your hair when you need to wash your hair. We do not have to be ashamed to say we wash our hair every single day. It's a skin and a hair basis. And if you're just listening to this, I'm pointing to my scalp. It is the skin we never think about. So I would just want to make it clear that we have two very different needs here that we're caring for when we shampoo, when we no poo, when we use a conditioning cleanser, all of the above. Take both of those needs into account. No shade.
I love that. We got a really interesting question from Ellen. How is the new Hair Story gel working out for everyone?
You go, Courtney, because you've got the news on that today.
So if you're watching, you can see that my hair is looking a little interesting.
It's 80s. It's giving 80s.
Hey now. Hey, it is in the cast and it is still drying. I diffused it to my roughly 90% dry mark and I'm letting it finish air drying in the cast. I tried the Hair Story gel for the first time today. It came in the mail yesterday after I'd already washed my hair. So we busted it out today. And oh my goodness, Alyson, as I was scrunching it in, the shrinkage, the like freeze it into placeness that it does for the curls is incredible. It made me so happy as I was scrunching it in. More thoughts to come later, but so far so good.
To be honest, I am not sure exactly what causes the curl shrinkage, but it really does add curl. It really adds curl. My hair has never been curlier in my life than when using this gel. Previously, it was with the Bounce Curl gel, which I still love and use all the time. And for that, I chalked it up to the protein. This one, I'm going to maybe chalk it up to the xylitol that's in here, which is a sugar substitute. That would be my guess. But big news. Can I share? Do you think I can go ahead and share, even though we don't have it scheduled yet?
You might as well.
We are doing our best, and I believe that we are going to be setting up a three-way conversation. We're going to be interviewing Wes Sharpton on an upcoming podcast. He is one of the leaders at Hair Story. I have been interviewed by him a couple of times. I've done a couple of classes through Hair Story, and he's always like the MC. He knows all of the things. He's so much fun and so knowledgeable, informed. He's going to be talking with us about formulation, about the new gel, and what they went through over the last few years to create it. So if you're interested in formulation and ingredients and all those kinds of things, we'll let you know when that one's coming. So it'll be a big one, I think. So hopefully Hair Story will promote it too. But what are we thinking of the new gel? We're thinking it's great, Ellen, and I think you should check it out. We really love it. The hold is incredible. The shrinkage is amazing. Multiple days. I'm on day 3 right now. I washed my hair on Monday.
Turn around for the people who are watching here online. Look at this, guys. She was setting up before we jumped on and I was staring at the back of her head. It is absolutely glorious.
Thank you. It's the gel. I will then go and use something else, and it's just not quite as curly, but it's like the springiness is really there for me with them.
Is there.
Yeah, it's the
When
gel.
I scrunched it into my hair, it vaguely reminded me of another product, and I can't quite put my finger on. I felt that feeling before when I scrunch it in and the curls just like freeze into super curl enhanced place. But one thing that's really getting to me is how light my hair feels. Like I had that shrinky, freezy feeling. There's not a crazy, crazy crunchy cast. Like I know for sure I'm going to be able to scrunch this out. And it's lightweight. This is very interesting.
It's very interesting. It's a really interesting formulation.
Jennifer asks, sorry, I can't read. Are products
are there products, I think, are there. There you go. You read it, Courtney. You've got this. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you much. Okay. Are there products that actually help your hair grow, not give volume or look like you have more hair? Okay. If you're asking, are there products that exist that will increase your hair density, like give you more hairs sprouting from your scalp per square inch? The only one that's been clinically proven to actually do that is minoxidil. And you can check it out through hers if that is something that you're interested in. I have had multiple members of my family go on minoxidil and have a lot of success with that. So
I will also say, I think she might be also asking about to help your hair grow longer. And I believe the only thing that really will help your hair grow longer, in addition to like diet, obviously anything you put in your body is going to help with that kind of thing, protein and all that good kind of stuff. Biotin. Biotin has historically been the thing that I've recommended that helps your hair grow lengthwise and not more wise, if that makes sense. Are you familiar with the same thing, Courtney? Is this something that you have recommended to people for the same reason, or have you taken biotin and seen any growth situations in that way, like among your hair or fingernails?
There have been certain supplements that I've taken that I've noticed like, whoa, dang, what is happening here? My nails are now 10 feet long and perfectly white and very strong. That I personally haven't had success with just biotin. Here's the thing. If you're working towards supplementing for hair growth, to increase hair growth, to increase, skin elasticity and nails, you have to play around with where the gaps are in your nutrition. If biotin is a nutritional gap for you and you start supplementing with that, you're going to see crazy growth. Like there was a missing link. I personally have found that when I take both collagen in like my coffee and Armra colostrum, oh my lands. Those two things fill my nutritional gaps and my hair grows really quickly, air quotes, and my nails start to look really long and glorious and healthy. Normally, the average hair growth is anywhere from 0.5 inch to 1 inch per month on a human. That doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get that full 0.5 inch. You might. During different seasons, your hair grows at different rates. In the summer, when you're getting more sunlight, your hair grows faster. Sadly, now we're going into the fall. If you are in the Northern Hemisphere, welcome to hair slow growth times, and you will notice more shedding. Our hair falls in the fall. So don't cry if you see a gigantic hairball in your hands like me every time I wash my hair.
That's a great reminder. We are really just trees. We are really just trees that can walk around, and we have the same growth cycle, and that's how that works. So don't forget that you are not separate from this earth. You are part of it, and you are just a tree that is walking around. I love that. And I will say too, I've always heard, I don't know if you want to weigh on this, I'd welcome your thoughts, that there is a stop point for the length that everybody's hair can grow to. You think about that singer in the 1970s, 1980s, Crystal Gayle, whose hair like swept the floor as she would like walk around. I was like, just like, wow, I couldn't believe their hair could get that long. There were people that I knew in high school who would never cut their hair and it would only get to like right here. Maybe trim it, it would still get to right there. Trim it, it would never grow past that point. So everybody also genetically, I've always heard, has a stopping point. But maybe throwing some biotin, some Nutrafol, filling those nutritional gaps could do something about it. But it is known information.
I have actually heard about that, and it's actually dictated by the length of the anagen phase of your hair, and that is dictated by genetics. This is why we see Asian women who do all the right stuff and things to take really good care of their hair. Their hair can sweep the floor. They have incredibly long hair because they have an incredibly long anagen phase genetically, plus are also doing all the things they need to do in order to take care of that hair. Even if you have the longest anagen phase on the universe, you are that one magical unicorn who has like a 10-year long anagen phase. That is the phase at which your hair is growing. If you are doing damaging hair practices and snapping that hair off, then it won't grow anymore. So oftentimes when you talked about the people whose hair would never grow past this point, there were usually other factors coming into play versus like that stop point of the anagen phase.
And we should clarify that the anagen phase is the growth phase. There's the telogen, anagen, catagen phases of your hair growth cycle. I always forget which is which. I believe that the telogen phase is the like phase when it's not doing anything. Is that the phase when it's frozen in place? I know you're all new to this right now because you're like studying this in cosmetology school and my brain doesn't work anymore. So the telogen phase is where it's resting. It is just hanging out. It's grown. Your catagen phase is the fallout phase. So anagen is your growth phase. Okay.
Yep.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
It can be up to 7 years.
Up to 7 years.
Usually,
well, you know, I've heard many times too that your hair tends to change about every 5 to 7 years. And that is right in line with an anagen phase. So if your hair is changing, friends, especially if you have the perimenopause like me, then you know that your hair is changing, hormones, all the things, always changing, and it's perfectly normal, and you're not dying today.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so if your anagen phase is 5 years long and you do all the right stuff and things and you don't get any trims, how many inches long can you grow your hair? So
is that 12 times 5?
12 times 5, right?
One would think if you get no trims, but there would still be breakage factored into that because if you're not getting any trims, your hair is old and crusty.
You could grow 5 feet of hair in theory.
In theory, you could grow 5 feet of hair. Wow. Wow.
Fun stuff and things. Okay, enough nerding out about hair growth.
I love it, but this is what we do.
Where can you purchase Hair Story? You purchase it through Alyson's link and you get a discount.
You purchase it through my link. My link is in my bio on Instagram. You can find it in most of the notes sections of my YouTube videos. It's on my bio site, which is linked into my Instagram and Facebook and all those kinds of things. So yes, go check out Hair Story there. Thank you. It's amazing. You're going to love it.
And what is the name of the gel and brand? One more time for Miss Sabrina.
One more time for the people in the back. It is Hair Story. And the name, I love Hair Story. I love Hair Story, but I can't give them a lot of credit for the name. The name is Styling Gel.
Hey, that's it. Clear cut, straightforward. I actually really appreciate that it's not coconut hibiscus protein, lightweight styling gel with booger snot. Like, I love that it's just styling gel.
You make an excellent point. And I think that if the idea is life is complicated, so let's simplify. And I think that Hair Story very much is about simplification. Maybe it fits right in, but it is called Styling Gel by Hair Story. So yes, that's it.
And am I the only one that saw Target now sells Not Your Mother's Flash Freeze Gel? Lucky for you, Dee. I live in Abilene, Texas. And if you need a curly or wavy haircut in Abilene, Texas, please come find me at the end of January. It's bless our Target. Just bless the heart. It does not stock much stuff. I have not seen that in my actual Target, but that is very exciting if you can get the Flash Freeze Gel in Target now.
That is excellent. I have one more on my phone that someone had submitted. I'll read this to you really quickly. Again, keeping it quiet, anonymous. I usually just pull my hair back instead of attempting to refresh. I'm not sure how to wet my hair. Plus, gel costs money. Y'all, this economy is a real thing right now. For real, for real. Everything. I can't I can't even talk about how expensive my kids' shoes are. Bless America. It is a lot. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think that our friend here is just in need of a styling break. And again, there's no shame in the styling break game. Go ahead and take you a styling break. But remember that you don't have to refresh with gel. My favorite refresh is with a little bit of water and a little bit of leave-in conditioner. So having a product that does double and maybe triple duty sometimes is a really great thing to have on hand.
I felt that confession deep in my soul because I am in that boat. Refreshing with wavy hair is just tricky. I think I have seen more curly hair refreshes where they just like spritz a little bit of water in it and scrunch a couple of times and diffuse, and it looks like wash day all over again. I have yet to refresh my hair back to wash day standard. That has never happened to me. And I do oftentimes on a refresh day just go, where's my jaw clip?
Oh yeah, I have been wearing mine up in a ponytail when I get to like day 3 or day 4 sometimes. I've even had a couple of people comment, oh, you never wear your hair in a ponytail. I can't believe your hair is in a ponytail. And it's like, oh, it makes me feel a little bit guilty. So like, I don't know. And I find that I don't really like record any stories. I don't really record any videos when my hair is up in a ponytail. And maybe that's a confession right there. Something that I've been scared to share is that like, I don't always wear my hair down. Like maybe I always make sure that I make it look really good for the most part before we get on here and record our podcast. For those who are watching, I'm like, oh yeah, this is normally what my hair looks like. And when I am in my studio, when I am seeing my clients, yes, I try to always look my best because I feel like that's important from a work standpoint. Have you heard this study? I heard somebody talking about this the other day. Who was it? That apparently women make more money if they are wearing makeup.
I saw that too. Did you share it?
I did not share it, but I saw it on somebody's Instagram. I saw it and I was like, what? And I need to go find the study. And it was she was talking about how the study also referenced like points of beauty, like the size of their nose, the size of their eyes, like the symmetry of their face. None of that mattered in terms of how much money they made. It was all in whether they were actually wearing makeup or not. And I think it's about makeup, for better or for worse, is maybe an expected thing. It's the clothing you put on your face. What outfit am I going to wear on my face today? It's, I did my hair. I am demonstrating that I put myself together by enhancing my features in some way, which I think is like such a double standard that it hurts. But I also like, I get why. It's still not fair, but I get why. And I think that like doing your hair is the same kind of thing from a professional standpoint. Like I put on my hair outfit today, so you can give me that raise after all.
Absolutely. I think there are a lot of layers and a lot of nuance to this. And is it fair? Maybe not. But when you put the makeup on, it kind of changes how you present yourself, or at least I know it does for me. On days where I don't put makeup on, I am more relaxed. I am more chill. I am maybe not putting myself forward so much, which when I do put the makeup on and I feel like, hey, I'm going to do the stuff and things now, I could see how that could easily correspond to more money. But is it fair? Maybe not. I love this question from Cassandra. Do you have any suggestions for preventing buildup on fine wavy strands themselves when the scalp is fine? I feel like I'm having to scrub the strands ends too roughly. Ooh, I have thoughts on this. Alyson, what are your thoughts?
You know what? I mean, I think it goes back to like all of the chelating products. Like if you feel like you have fine wavy strands that are more than likely higher porosity, maybe you're newer to wavy and your strands are just collecting everything that you put on them. And so they themselves are feeling like built up. I don't think your scalp and your hair have to be built up at the same time. I think that's completely normal. So I would say it's okay to use shampoo on your ends. Maybe that's another confession that we need to say, like, we're going to talk about, because a lot of times you hear that shampoo is for your scalp and conditioner is for your ends. And I get where they're going with that. But I think that, yeah, it totally makes sense that like sometimes you need something to remove actual buildup from your hair strands. Your hair strands may look like a little open pine cone situation with your cuticle kind of being blown open, like Swiss cheese. There's all these little places for your products to hide and to kind of embed themselves. You have to get that off from time to time, especially if your hair is higher porosity. So using some kind of chelating shampoo, EDTA is an ingredient you could look at. I know we've talked about these things before in a couple of previous podcasts. I know Courtney has a couple of favorite shampoos that she likes. I've always just liked, what is it? The Malibu. What is it called? Oh, my brain stopped braining.
Undo Goo.
Malibu Undo Goo. The Malibu Undo Goo has always been a favorite for me. The Suave Daily Clarifying Shampoo is like an old favorite. I know they've reformulated it over the years. I love AG Curl Fresh. I had to look over at my shampoo bowl and go, where was that shampoo? AG Curl Fresh is not a chelating shampoo, but you may not need chelating. You may need something that just suds a little bit. So that's my take. But Courtney, you got all the thoughts. I want to hear all your thoughts.
Okay, this is like a really going out of left lane kind of way to go. If you are shampooing your scalp and you're pulling that lather through the lengths of your hair, you are chelating regularly, and you're just feeling this weird buildup. Alyson, I've run into this twice. One of my clients was going through chemo, but it wasn't super harsh chemo. It was just enough chemo that it made the ends of her hair feel waxy. It was the weirdest thing.
I have thoughts on this. We'll come back to my thoughts, my very woo-woo thoughts. Maybe this is a little bit of a confession. Continue.
I noticed it. It was very strange. Second, there was a client that I was working on. I washed her hair 3 times in my bowl. She should have been squeaky clean. She was going through working with a homeopathic doctor and going through a major detox. And her hair had this weird waxy feel buildup on it. Let's take a look at what we're ingesting, what we're putting in. Are you going through some treatments? Is your body detoxing for some reason? That could be a good thing to look at when you have treated the clarifying from the outside. If your strands are feeling buildup-y, what are your thoughts on the chemo, Alyson?
Oh, I mean, anything that you put in your body can change your hair. I have a good friend from college, one of my best friends, who is an ophthalmologist, and she will say the eyes are the window into the body. Like anything that's going on in the body, I can see what's going on, like when I look at your eyes. And I think from our perspective as people who are looking at hair, considering hair all day, you can see so much of that in hair as well. And this is my woo-woo thing that I'll put out there into the world. I really do sometimes feel like hair is not actually fully dead. You know, they talk about how hair comes out of your body and it's like, it doesn't have nerve endings, but I don't think it's dead. And that is the general consensus of what is taught and what is known. But I've seen too many times when someone starts a new medication, or somebody is super duper stressed out, or somebody is going through something new in their lives, and it may not even coincide, I don't know, with some kind of growth cycle. Okay.
Autoimmune diseases, getting put on a medication that's a low-grade chemo drug. Yes.
You know, because you deal with this on your own. You will see the hair that's already grown out of your head change. Here's what I believe about hair. Okay, here's what I'm going to share that I've been scared to say out loud. I think your hair is a nutrient storage ground for your body that is a last resort for when other things are not working. I think that people grow their hair long, and I think there's all these nutrients stored in that hair. I have absolutely nothing to back this up, mind you. This is just me spitballing and being a little bit witchy because it's October, and I tend to get a little bit witchy in October, and I love it. It's mystical. So I think there's this nutrient storage ground when you get sick, when you have the flu, whatever. Haven't you noticed people like their hair looks awful? You can tell that something about it is just like lifeless, and they themselves are not feeling great. I think that body is pulling from the nutrients in the hair. They start taking their Nutrafol, they get some therapy, they take a few naps, they start sleeping better, everything gets better. And that hair starts to look good again. It starts to look shiny again, and it
is
didn't have to
maybe
fall
they're
out and
not
be
putting
replaced.
and is it maybe they're not putting in the effort on their wash days? Could be, but I don't
I don't
think
think
so.
so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I do think there's something else. There's something else there. It's not dead.
Alyson, do you have a product spotlight? I mean, I feel like ours is the same this week.
You do? You do? You think they're the same? I kind of have two, and they have to do with more things that I've been afraid to say out loud. So I kind of tried to tie them in. Okay.
Okay.
I had a lot of things. I guess I hold back a lot. I didn't think that I did, but maybe I do. Or maybe I do share these, but I just don't share them all the time. Okay. I think I have shared this one before, though. This is my janky old pick that I've had since I was in high school. I love her so much. It's actually a little bit broken. You can see that I maybe had a temper tantrum when I was 15 and threw it and broke a little thing off of it. I don't know. Maybe that happened. Maybe it didn't. And y'all know one of my favorite things when I refresh, and if you're watching this is how I like to refresh. I've shared this many times on the Instagram and the YouTube over the years, but I will take my pick, and I don't comb through my hair, but I do kind of like a bounce thing, like where I sort of bring it in, pull it, and then let it go. Bring it in, pull it down a little bit, and then let it go. It's not really a combing, but I felt like I needed to share because I know that a lot of times people are afraid to use anything like this on their hair when it's dry. They're afraid they're going to rip their hair strands, and you might. If that is a great fear of yours, don't do it. It's not a great fear of mine. I'll just cut it later. So I feel like you can use a comb, you can use a pick, you can use something if you want more volume to just really separate those curl families if you want something different, and you don't have to feel bad about it. So here's my little janky pick. I love her. And that's one of mine. And then the other one comes with another confession, but I think you should share yours. What is your product spotlight, Courtney?
I was going to highlight the Hair Story gel. I was that impressed today.
I think that was mine last week. So I couldn't take it 2 weeks in a row. Was it mine last week? Because I was ahead of the curve because I had it the day it came out.
That's true.
I want to hear your highlight for the Hair Story gel. Tell me about your product spotlight. I know you're liking it, but what makes it your spotlight today, other than it's just new to you and the first time you've used it? What's on your mind?
Lightweight. Shine is ridiculous. If you're watching, why can people see my hair from outer space right now? That is amazing. And the fragrance is
outer
really,
space.
really good. The fragrance is perfect. It's light. It's subtle. It's not giving me a headache, but I feel like I smell pretty. I feel like it's decently unisex. Like men aren't going to run screaming for the hills going, oh my gosh, why do I smell like a flower? That leads me into this question. Is it weird for a guy to follow CGM? Some say I'm crazy, but hey, the hair don't lie. No, it's not weird. Hair care is hair care.
And I don't even call it CGM anymore. I think a long time ago, I started calling it a healthy hair journey because CGM is so owned by Lorraine Massey, who I've mentioned before. I think is totally brilliant. And that's like her terminology. But, you know, this has a drying alcohol in it. This Hair Story gel has a drying alcohol in it. It's technically not CGM, but these results don't lie. So, and I've been using this gel for over a year.
I missed the drying alcohol in it. I didn't pour through the ingredients label like a good curly girl. I did not read the back of the bottle properly, Alyson. I should be fired.
It's okay, Courtney. It's okay. I forgive you. It's okay to confess that. Were you afraid to say that out loud?
I was afraid to confess that.
Okay, I have one more.
Please.
And this is for all, this is my one more. It is literally just.
I've been dying for you to talk about this. Okay, it's well for the people listening, for all intensive purposes, or for, as my husband likes to say, as for all intents and purposes, it is just a hairdryer with a diffuser. Because the thing that we're sometimes afraid to say out loud is, oh yeah, you can get the same results when you air dry versus when you diffuse. That is a complete and total lie. It is a lie. You cannot. You can get good results when you air dry. You can get good results when you diffuse, but they will be night and day different. Night and day different. I have a whole video on my YouTube that was about air drying and my methodology for doing that. Courtney, I know that you tried it. Why it works, I don't know. We can dive into that later on, or you can find that. Thank you. Or you can find that video if you would like to. But the truth is that the diffuser
the diffuser dryer combo is what will give you the lasting curl. So if you are a wavy who wants to be curlier, but you want to do the least, gel and diffuse. Gel and diffuse, but you got to diffuse. You can't skip that part. But you wanted to know about this dryer. Okay, so what I'm holding up is the Dyson R. So this is the Supersonic R dryer. It did not come free to me. I did pay my own monies for this. I have a business I can write it off through. Thank goodness. And it was expensive, but I love her. She is wonderful. She is amazing. She's very, very lightweight. Like when I take the attachments off, and the attachments are smart, by the way, I'll tell you about that in just a second.
It's 0.7 pounds.
It's this by itself is probably about 2 pounds. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, with the attachment on, maybe, because the attachment itself might be another 2 or 3. So like all together, we're talking 5 to 7 pounds. This is, if you are, Dyson doesn't sponsor me. I wish that I got credit for every time I recommended them to somebody, but if you're a hairdresser and you're not using one of these lightweight dryers, just make the investment in your own health and get one of these things, because really it does truly save my shoulders, my back, my neck, because you don't think about how when you're doing like repetitive movements with something heavy in your hand, and the school issued dryer that we used when I was in cosmetology school was so incredibly heavy and loud. It was actually not great for my health, but I have noticed since using this dryer, like the volume itself, it's more audibly tuned, as I think what they call it. It's not as loud. I can have a regular conversation and I don't completely lose my hearing trying to yell at my clients or having my clients yell at me over this. And it's incredibly light. It's easy to take care of. The one complaint about the R that I've seen and that I can understand is that when the smart attachment of the diffuser is on, even when you have it in the highest speed mode, it is still pretty gentle. That's not such a bad thing. That means that it can be super gentle on low, but it is a pretty good dryer. I love it. Smart attachments mean that when you take one attachment off and you put the other on, it remembers these settings for heat and speed that you used with that same attachment last time. So if I take this off and I put on my concentrator nozzle, which I will generally use on like medium speed, medium heat, then it's going to put this right back there. If I take that off and put this on, this is going to put this back on my diffuser settings.
That reminds me so much of the Shark Hyper Air hair dryer. They had smart attachments.
I love that. It's so smart.
That is so, it's doable, and it's not like crazy hard to do that. I wish everybody would do that, but Dyson's the only one doing it. How do you like the shape of the dryer? Because Shark Hyper Air hair dryer got discontinued, but anyway.
Oh, that's too bad. I like it a lot. It's taken me a minute to get used to it just because the weight is in a different place. Okay. But I have acclimated to it very well. I find I have to almost hold it more with my pinky. I don't know if that makes sense, just because the controls are up here. And I think normally I would hold a dryer up here that would be over the controls. So I just find that because I'm controlling it near the filter at the bottom of the device, that I have to use a little bit more strength in the bottom of my hand that's closer to the end of the device. So that was really tough to get used to at first, but now I'm totally acclimated to it and I really love it. Yeah, you just have to take care of it. Like with every dryer, you have to make sure that you clean the filter and do all the things, because if you don't, it will die. So it's been great. We had a lot of confessions in here today. This was awesome.
Alyson, this was absolutely great. You don't have to be afraid to hold a controversial opinion with curly hair. I feel like there is this stigma about waves and curls that there's only one right way to do the thing. And honestly, it's your hair. You've got to make it fit into your life. So if that means not refreshing your hair and pulling it back in a bun on day 2, by all means. If that means washing your hair every single day of your existence because your scalp needs it, by all means, please do. Or perhaps you just prefer how good your hair looks on wash day and you would like for your hair to look that way every single day. Please wash it every day. If you can get away with not washing your hair until every 10th day, good for you. You're a unicorn.
Unicorns unite. I love it. And I love what you said about we do not have to be afraid to share our opinions. Like whether it's wavy or curly hair or beyond, like we have got to bring back a culture of being able to talk to each other about all the things and
Absolutely.
not be canceled. P.S. Have you listened to the new Taylor Swift album?
I have not. Cancel me.
There is, I'm not going to cancel you. Zero judgment here, friend. But there is a song on there called Canceled, and she's talking to some degree about cancel culture. And I just really appreciated the take on the song because I really just, I have a Girl Scout troop. And one of the things we talked about recently as they're they're in the 7th grade, none of them are on social media yet. And we are trying to introduce them to that via an app called Band. So we're using this app called Band for our Girl Scout troop. So for anybody else out there leading a Girl Scout troop, an orchestra, a basketball team, what have you, Band, they're not a sponsor. I just started using them and I like them. It's sort of like social media with training wheels. You can post a comment to your group, only your group of people that are in your private little group, and they can say, hey, way to go. Hey, that was awesome. Like they can support each other. And it's been wonderful. And like, I want to get back to this culture of being able to say what we feel and not be afraid. So wavies, say what you feel about your hair and don't be afraid of being canceled, because at least in this corner of the internet, two wavy girls on the internet, you will not be canceled here. We welcome all of it.
Absolutely. As always, we hope you are having an absolutely fantastic day, and we cannot wait to see you until the next episode.
We'll see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.